taking place on a daily basis, and we need your help.
You know, I think, Jim, what would be important would be for our viewers to hear a typical week in treatment court, and Michelle would be better than anyone to say what her week was like, because I don't want the audience or anyone to watch this and think that this is a cakewalk.
Oh my.
No.
This is not. We hold people accountable, and I think that, Michelle, if you're comfortable, if you could share that, I think that...
Can I ask you one question? If you're arrested, is that the end of it in the program? Does it end if you get arrested for something?
If you get rearrested, you mean,
yeah.
Jim?
Or do they give you some kind, do they look at the arrest and kind of consider what's going on? Or?
We look at it on a case-by-case
Okay.
basis. Certainly, if you have been rearrested for drinking and driving or drugging and driving, you are terminated from the program. If you've been arrested and we discover that you happen to have been there and the situation was beyond your control, we certainly may put a sanction. We certainly may terminate you. It's really on a case-by-case basis. We don't take rearrests easily.
Right.
It's important. People, places, and things.
Right. And Michelle, do you see a big change in your family since you've rehabilitated?
Remarkable.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I have a fantastic relationship with my daughter today, who's 17. I have a close relationship with, I've always been close with my family, but when I was active, I lost that, and today I have it all back. And
That's great.
you know, we have boundaries. I have healthy relationships with my family and with others in the community. You know,
Very good.
Can I share something off
Go
on that?
ahead.
You know, I was tough on you, as you know. I was very difficult. Our team was very difficult and tough, and we held Michelle accountable on many occasions, and really we put her in jail. There was all kinds of sanctions, graduated sanctions, in terms of whether they essays, letters of apology, community service, or incarceration. And I remember she talks about having a healthy relationship today with her family. How about when she first came into the court, had a very difficult relationship with her family, a very caustic, toxic relationship with her family. They didn't get along. But yet, when I try to do, and the team tried to do their work to help Michelle out, the first person to come to her defense was her mother. And we used a term enabling.
Yes.
And a lot of family members, parents, spouses, whatever, they enable, and they don't realize that we're just trying to change their behaviors. And so it was difficult for Michelle on any given day throughout, for over a 2-year period for her, because that 2 years that Joe had mentioned, we talked about early on, is if everything runs perfectly and you start and finish in 2 years without any relapses and tolling of the time. There's a lot of problems. We know relapse is going to happen, and that we have to deal with that. So when you're relapsing, you don't get credit for that time. So that 2 years may be 2.5, 3, 4, 5 years before you actually graduate if you're successful from that program.
Wow,
so it's not an easy, as Joe said, this is not easy. We hold people accountable. We, as a team, wrestle with all these issues on any given day and every Thursday, and people are welcome to come in and observe any Thursday at 3 o'clock when treatment court is in session. And I want to tell you, it is a public forum. People are welcome. And I've learned throughout the time, the 7 years I've been handling the court as a county court judge, that most people don't know what goes on. So I invite them to call, to observe, and to learn more about what we're trying to do to help everybody in our community.
Michelle, I just want to ask you, when you're with a group of people, is there a camaraderie amongst you people who are in the program, or are you more individualistic going through the program?
It's individual and very
It's
individual in
individual.
treatment
Okay.
court. I think that it's best that way.
I see.
And when you
I know
enter
what you
and you
mean.
go into meetings, it's very important in your recovery to build a support network of healthy people.
Healthy people, yeah,
Not
I see.
necessarily everybody in treatment court is healthy.
They have their
But it's
problems,
up to
yeah.
them to establish a healthy group
On their own.
you know, on their own.
With the help
in
of the team.
The meetings with
Yeah.
the team and, you know, recovery.
You know, I think Michelle makes a great point. And, you know, she said not everyone who's in recovery is healthy.
Right.
People who don't have addictions aren't healthy. And we need to decide which relationships we want to keep in our lives, which ones are not healthy. Addiction is part of people's lives. Hanging out with negative people is part of everyone's life, and that we need to take control of our lives and determine how we want to move forward. And Michelle's done a great job. You know, Michelle went to treatment, went to self-help groups, went to probation, saw her case management all in 1 week. And it's not like Michelle checked in once a week. She had a very busy schedule of what she needed to do for herself based on the recommendations of the treatment providers.
You know what it
Absolutely.
reminds me of? It's like in this program, you can't be an invisible person.
No.
You're very transparent to everybody. They see what's going on with
Right.
you, and that's what helps you.
It does.
You know, because in the other life, you could hide from a lot of people and do things, right? You know, compartmentalize your problems. But this way, you're out in the open all the time.
I like,
Which is-
and when I, I'm very active in the community and with helping others. And when I hear that someone, gets arrested and goes into treatment court, I'm actually happy for them. I'm like, you have a real chance to save your life here. You know?
People make mistakes, Jim. People make mistakes. We're all human beings. We have to give them a second chance, a third chance. We have to work with them. There's nothing perfect in life. This program, what they try to do, and the decisions they make. But with a strong foundation of support and so on, you can be like Michelle and be successful. And that's what we're trying to do.
Very good.
We're trying.
I was going to say.
We're good.
You know, I was just wondering. Now, when it comes to domestic violence, is that a separate court? Or is that treated with the drugs?
Well, that could be a component of certain issues of drug and alcohol abuse. I don't know, but I know domestic violence is a whole different issue. And certain types of crimes are not allowed to come into the treatment court if they're violent and so on.
violent,
So
right.
we take that on a case-by-case basis,
Right.
and we make sure that they're appropriate and that they will not interfere in a negative way with the other participants. And the integrity of this court and this program relies a lot upon what the team does on a daily basis, because we do hold people accountable, but we also hold ourselves accountable. In other words, we hold ourselves to the highest standard to help people out, to give them the best chance of success. And that means we have to be somewhat, use our discretion as to who may come into this program.
How often would excuse me, Jim,
Go ahead.
how often would a person see a mental health professional?
Depending on
Yeah,
their needs, it
just
could be several times a week,
Oh, really? Several
weekly
times?
basis,
Wow,
on
that's
a
good.
bi-weekly basis. It depends on the course of treatment. And by the way, as a judge, I listen to the experts, the doctors, the professionals, the mental health or treatment experts that say, hey, Judge, we need to do this in this particular case of any of the 100 or so we have. And they're all varied of treatments and recommendations and so on. So we go along with that, and we defer to the experts. Joe, you agree?
That's perfect, Jim, and because it depends on how the person participates in their treatment program. Some can go through quicker than others. Some it takes a longer time. You know, there are at times some medication issues that are an important part of recovery and/or mental health treatment. Sometimes medication isn't part of it. It depends on what each individual's needs are, and that's where the team concept is wonderful. Everybody has a say. The judge does a great job of keeping 15 of us intact, and we then make decisions. Certainly the final decision is the judge's, and it falls on his shoulder. But that's what's nice about this team approach, is that we get everything out there, we get all the information we need, and then we make a decision what's best for that person. No two people are alike.
Very good. Michelle, you want to say a few things before we close?
I just want to say how grateful I am that I had the experience through treatment court that I did. It was challenging, but at the end, the light went off, and I grew up. I have great characteristics today of my personality that, I find that are helping me be successful today in life, and I'm pursuing a career in working with others in the treatment community and counseling, and hopefully would love to. I'd really love to see treatment court be standing forever.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Very
To
good.
continue.
Very good. Listen, I think we have to finish up. Okay, so I just want to thank you, Joe, Michelle, and Jim, for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much. And
Appreciate
thanks a
it.
lot for watching the show. Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye.